Hey, family. I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on and we're going to get it. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about the power of your words, the power of your words. It is going down, 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 down. Mm-mm. God is so good and so amazing, y'all. I am I am very excited. Okay, I am trying to send this out to my peoples, to my peoples, to my peoples. All right, I am here. Hey, 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 Yana. I see you, sis. Hey, Reva. Hey, I see you. I see you. I see you. Hey, y'all. Okay. So, how about, hey, Christine, I'm here, sis. I'm here. Oh, my God. Hi, hey, hey, hey. Listen, y'all, I can't even watch the election results. I was like, I'm just going to come in here and go live like I said I was in my good business for tonight. My beautiful sisters, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah. So, you know what I want to talk about tonight? I want to talk about the power of your words. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I was looking at an old video I did probably like 9 years ago, right? And it was talking about the power of your words, and it's so powerful. It was powerful then, and this is when I first started out, and first started doing videos, I should say, and I decided to talk about that tonight because I think that sometimes we forget how we set things up in our lives, how different people being in our lives bring out different things in us, right? And so, um, based on how we were raised, based on the things that we've dealt with, hurt, pain, whatever it is, it can make us react and respond to people, in a way that's not really nice or not conducive. And our attitudes can sometimes um, they could sometimes, hey Deidre, I see you, baby. And our attitude sometimes can mess up our relationships unbeknownst to us. And so we all know the word that says, you know, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? We all know that. We know that, right? But a lot of times, what's going on in our mind comes in out our mouth, and how we feel in our heart. It just comes flying out of our mouth. And so I just wanted to say that we need to be mindful of the way that we speak to others. Now, some of us are not in relationships right now, and that's okay, right? Because we can practice this stuff with our coworkers, with our family members, with our kids, and all of that. I remember I used to go to work, and I was probably one of the nicest people you could ever talk to on the phone. And because I was going through so much at home, I would be driving home on the parkway, and I would be like nervous in my stomach about what I was about to deal with. And I would come home and I would be on edge. So I wasn't really in those moments being the best person I knew how to be. So I would come in the door fussing. Why is there dishes in the sink? Why is this? Why is that? Right? And I found that I was treating the people at work better than I was treating my kids at home. Okay. And I'm being honest, like it don't get no more honest than that. Right. And I had to learn that the same way that I treat people at work and I'm all sunshine and bubbly and all of this other stuff, that I had to bring that same thing home. Right. I had to bring that to my kids. Why was I so good to everybody outside of my house and I wasn't promoting and loving on the people that was inside of my house? Now, that might be a sad indictment, but that's a lot of times what we do, right? And I'm not saying everybody, but there are some people who do the same thing. We have to watch our words in relationships. right? So we could practice on the people that are around us, right? We could practice with our friends, we could practice with our family members, we could practice with our kids, whomever, right? But that by the time you get in a relationship that you know, good evening, I don't know who that is, all I see is Facebook user. If you want to show your name, you have to give StreamYard permission to see who you are, right? And so I know for a fact that if you want your relationship to work when you get in one, or if you are in one, then you have to watch your words. I know for a fact that when you encourage your partner and lift your partner up, that you get better results than when you dog them out or you talk down to them, right? Or they feel bad because of the way you feel about something they did or didn't do, right? Um, it's a fact that when you say thank you and you're very appreciative for what your partner does, male or female, in your life, they want to do more of that because they want you to appreciate them. So let's say you cooking dinner and your girlfriend loves the food, but what if she talks bad about your food? What if she was like, oh God, this is disgusting? Like, would you want to ever do anything else for your girlfriend? No, you wouldn't. And it's the same thing if a man doesn't like the way something is prepared when his woman makes it, right? Like, you will get to the point where, like, I'm not doing nothing for you because I don't feel like you appreciate me and the hard work that I put into what I did for you. Like, you may be able to throw down, but you might not be able to make, baked macaroni and cheese. I don't know. My point is, I don't think you can throw down if you can't make baked macaroni and cheese. Anyway, that's sidebar. Okay, but you guys get what I'm saying. So it is the words that we use that will encourage our partners, lift us up, lift them up, right? And it'll lift up the whole entire relationship. But if we don't use the proper verbiage, we can literally destroy our relationships. We really can. And we may not even mean to, but even our attitudes denote dissatisfaction. Our facial expressions denote dissatisfaction. Nobody wants to feel like they've done something or they're not good enough, right? So we need to be careful because there is a lot of power in the way that we speak, in the way that we love our partners. And some of us may be accustomed to that because some of us may have been raised in households where everybody snapped on everybody talked junk to everybody. You were raised like that and it was all good because you just said whatever you wanted to say. Your feelings got hurt and you hurt quite a few other people's feelings. That's not what you need to be doing in your love relationship because it's a little different. I'm going to be honest with you. What man or what woman don't want, especially at this age that we are at right now, what man or what woman doesn't want to be in a relationship where they have peace? Who wants to come home every day to hell? Who wants to come home every day dealing with somebody who does not know how to talk to them, who does not make them feel good about who they are? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you you can make another person happy. I'm saying, yes, that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Absolutely, Deidre. Absolutely. And I say that to people because I think that it is important that we guard our mouths, that we guard our actions. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have been in a situation where I know that I wasn't a good partner. I'm telling y'all, I'm being honest. I when I was married, and I don't mean to talk about my husband, but when I was married, I didn't do the right thing all the time. People will tell you, I was a good wife and and I was a good husband. But come on now, let's be honest. If you own your stuff, right? If you own your stuff, you can always do things right. You just didn't, right? And you do, Reva, say so, sis. Think before you speak. Think before you speak. And not all the time will you, because nobody is perfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. We have our flaws, but that's the blessing of it. You get to see your flaws and then you get to work through that stuff in your relationship. But if you keep speaking down to your partner, if you keep speaking down to your kids, you see the results of people who speak to their kids like they don't matter, who don't promote or elevate their children. You see what happens. And with Christine, you already know, sis, you work with kids. You work with kids. So you know firsthand, because you could tell by a kid's posture how they're being treated at home. Right? So why would any man or woman want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't know how to talk to them? That is like absolutely ridiculous, right? There's power in your words. We have to think about what it is that we're about to say before we let it come flying out of our mouths. And that's not just for the women, it's for the men as well, right? We're supposed to abide with one another, to learn one another, right? Not to aggravate one another, but to be each other's peace, right? I've been married, and I haven't always been this, understanding, knowing how to speak every time. I didn't know how to always encourage my husband. Hell, there was times I didn't know how to encourage him, period. Never mind all the time, right? If we're going to be honest, if we're going to keep it real, right? We weren't always who we are right now, but that's the blessing of having a new opportunity another day, right? Hey, Nella, I see you, boo boo. That's my niece. I love you. I see you. Yes. So you don't always know the right things to say. You don't always know the right things to do, right? So you have to learn, but you have to be open. You have to be open. I love you, boo boo. Yes. You have to be open to criticism. And I don't mean somebody tearing you down. I'm talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about like sitting down and having a conversation and saying, honestly, baby, I'm sorry. Like, and correcting the behavior, right? So we have to work on who we are. We have to work on being better versions of ourselves. We don't always have it down, but sometimes we cause our own misery in our relationships because we don't always know what to do, right? Our behavior sets a tone in the household. Right? If we come in and we upset because somebody at work aggravated us or something happened, and we come in and we take it out on everybody that's in the house, or we got a situation that we're dealing with personally, we expect for our spouse or partner to understand, like, oh my God, you're supposed to know. They don't know all the time how to even soothe you. And the truth is, you don't always know how to soothe yourself. Sometimes it may be, let me go for a walk because I'm pissed off. Or sometimes it may be, you know what? I want to go out to dinner or go read a book or go take a bath or whatever it is that you do to take care of you, right? But your partner doesn't always know that. And you have to be proactive about who you are and taking care of you. And in the interim, your partner, your man, your wife, your husband or your wife, they will learn by the way that you treat yourself. But if you're always angry and you don't know how to speak, all you're going to do is cause an even further rift in your relationship, right? With your partner. So we want to try to be our best selves. And the other thing is our behavior. Not only when you talk to them, but how do you act towards them? Are you always glad to see them, right? When you get into a relationship, you want to be in a relationship with somebody that you're happy to see, not just settling to be with somebody just because, right? There's somebody who makes you genuinely happy, right? Because then you'll get all of that when you love somebody. A lot of men just say, just respect me, because respect is higher than love for a lot of, hey, Tina, I see you. I'm just seeing you. Hey, boo-boo. But that's why it's each one teach one. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Amanda. I see you, sweetheart. How are you? When you have a good man in your life, or a good, if you have a good woman in your life, and you find out like that they don't know how to talk to you, or just the opposite. They know how to talk to you. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel like you could touch the sky when you got somebody who love you like that, who's paying attention when you upset and sometimes when you're not. Amanda, you said most times you have to speak your mind when the other person can receive what you're saying. So if it's in anger, wait, absolutely. Absolutely, Amanda. Absolutely. It doesn't even make any sense because you're not building at that point, right? Usually, I'm going to tell y'all something. Years ago, I think I learned this, that when I was in a confrontation with anybody, the louder they talked, the lower I talked, right? Because if they wanted to hear what I was saying, they would have to lower their voice. Sometimes we'd be trying to get our point across and we'd be on 10. How's that supposed to work? Nobody's listening to anybody at that point, right? So it's like being able to sit down and have a really, really good conversation with your partner and being open and honest and able to receive is how you make the dream work. If we're going to win in relationships, we got to watch our behaviors, our words. We got to watch how we approach things. And you should want to. Nobody's telling you to walk on eggshells, but why would you want to treat your partner, your man, your woman, less than you should be treating them, right? And I know that there's a lot of stuff out here on social media and YouTube and everywhere else you want to look, right, about relationships. But the foundation and the way the relationships work, it begins with you changing, right? And I know a lot of people probably don't like to hear me say stuff like that, but that's the truth. Like, you want your relationship to be good, realize that you're 100% responsible for making it good. Okay. Everybody about to log off, right? But here's the deal. You are. Play 100% of the role that you're supposed to play. Be 100% of the person that you know how to be, because nobody's perfect, right? Do the very best that you can for your partner. Treat them like the king and the queen that they are. And when you do that, you'll win. And here's a little side note for my brothers. Even if y'all watching this on the replay, here's a side note. Show up for her every time, being consistent. Brothers are trying to find out, like why they really can't get a good woman to stick by their side. Because you dropping the ball because you're afraid. And then you run away, or you don't put your all into it because you don't see her responding to what you've already given her. Sometimes she needs you to press and act like she's important and be consistent, right? It's just a little side note for my brothers. Because a lot of times that's why my brothers don't have people in their lives. She ain't looking for your money. She needs you to be stable. But money is not what's going to keep her. Trust me. It's the way that you treat her. If you treat her well and you pour your heart into her, guess what's going to happen? You're going to win. Because if she's worth her weight, right? If she's worth her weight, absolutely, Amanda, be authentic from the beginning. But if she is worth her weight, I promise you, you are going to have one incredible woman. When you treat her good, let me tell you something, my brothers. She's going to be cooking. She's going to be cleaning. She's going to be doing the most for you. I got a good man, and I'm tired. And I finally found somebody who wants to love me right, especially at this age, right? It may be people younger than us watching, but the truth of the matter is at some point you get tired of the shenanigans and you just want somebody to treat you right. And I know my brothers want a good woman in their lives, right? Be consistent. Show up. Let her know that you care about her, right? And when she's feeling a little overwhelmed or whatever, lean in. Don't pull away. Lean in. Find out what's going on. And sometimes you may not know. Sometimes the tears that she's crying don't have anything to do with you, right? It's because she's afraid, right? So, and if a man stands up and is the man that he's called to be, listen to me. She gonna roll out the red carpet for that brother, because that brother is consistently showing up. He's genuine, and he's showing her that he appreciates her when she, does things for him, right? And with that being said, don't get with nobody who always, and I'm saying this, and my sisters, please don't get upset, but this is the truth. Don't get with nobody who you pulling out all the stops for, and you say, oh, baby, go out and you buy yourself a dress or go and get your nails and your hair done or something, and you give her $200 or $300 for herself, and she don't come back with nothing for you. I promise you that you're going to be able to tell a lie that she don't bring you nothing back, right? So check who you spending your time with. Check the temperature of that relationship. And that's for my brothers. And that's true. That's the truth. Jamila says, for me, it's the effort showing you're trying to be better than you were yesterday. Absolutely. That's it. That's it. Because we're going to mess up, because we're going to make mistakes. Amanda is saying, be authentic from the beginning, right? I talked about that. I saw your comment a few minutes ago. Absolutely. Be authentic. Come right out. Be who you are. Don't front, right? But if you are not ready, if somebody can pour love onto you, but you're not ready to pour love back, what you doing there? What are you doing there? That's for men and women, right? If somebody really cares about you and you're not giving back, there's a problem. And maybe you need to, seek help, go to that person and say, listen, I don't know, like I'm stuck or whatever it is that you need to say to them to fix it if they loving you like that, right? And then the other thing, Tina says, consistent, yes, change your mind or his and keep fighting if it's good for you. Absolutely. Tina, thank you for saying that. Let me say this. You know how many people be like, yo, I'll walk away. I ain't dealing with that. If you got somebody good in your life, to my brothers and my sisters, you better fight for it. And I don't mean fight them. You better fight for your relationship. Because people going to tell you what they going to do, but they ain't in no good relationship. They haven't met their person yet. But when you meet that good person, yes, fight for them. Fight to make it work, right? So many people just want to tap out and run, right? Sit down with your man. Sit down with your woman. Do what you are supposed to do. Real talk. When you got somebody good, and I'm not talking about anybody that's perfect. Tina, thank you for saying that, baby, because so many people tap out. So many people tap out. They be like, I ain't doing this. I'm not going through nothing. Well, let me tell you something. I don't care who you with. It's just like if you go from one church to another, you're going to always find a problem no matter where you go. Because no matter where you go, there you are. And the idea is that you would get better in relationships, not run away from trouble, but learn how to deal, learn how to talk to your partner, grow in that relationship, grow to be a better version of yourself, right? That's the idea. Change your behavior, change your attitude, and stop listening to people. And I know we too old, we know better than this. We got to stop listening to people, because even our older girlfriends, a lot of them don't have men. And they will tell you in a New York minute, girl, if you don't go ahead on, like, I ain't doing this and I ain't doing that. But you know if you got a good man or not. You know if he got money in that bank account. You know if he's invested in you more than any of your friends could ever know, right? So you stick and you hang in there with them. Let me put up your comment. I think we as women need to let our men be vulnerable with us without judgment. Amanda, I love that you just said that's it. Can I tell you something? The only time a man is going to allow himself to be vulnerable is when he feels safe. That is the ultimate intimacy. That's how the relationships grow. That's how that's how you attain peace in your relationship. A lot of people don't know that. Nobody don't want to get up arguing with nobody every day about foolishness. Nobody don't want to deal with no bad attitudes every day about foolishness, right? And it may not even be foolishness, but you have to find a way to create space for your man or your woman to open up to you, especially when they're going through something or they're hurting. But you've also got to be ready to listen to what they say once you open up. And sometimes you may just want somebody to listen and you may not want to hear anything. And that needs to be okay too, because you don't have to answer every question. You don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. You can allow yourself to be, to just be a listening ear and be supportive and lean in and create a space for your partner to be, to open up to you, right? But if you break their trust, it's very difficult to get it back. And women especially don't always know when they break the man's trust. We don't learn that sometimes until much later, because they change. All of a sudden they start acting a little different and you can't figure out why, right? You're like, wow. And then maybe in hindsight, or maybe it'll come up in conversation, an argument, because you said, that kind of thing. Because it only takes sometimes a very small thing in the beginning to fracture your relationship. And if you don't put a cast on that thing and tend to it, it won't heal properly, if y'all understand what I'm saying, right? You have to create space for your partner to talk to you and for you to be, and they have to create space for you to feel safe with them, right? Male or female, it doesn't matter, right? So we have to genuinely think about some of the things that we are saying to our partners, and practice with your kids. Practice with your kids. Practice with your kids. Practice with them. Practice with your sister and your brother, right? Practice with your other family members by being kind, by being open, by listening, right? And use it all as, some experiment or something, and a place for you to grow. Like, be consciously aware of what you're doing, of creating space, right? And some of that you do so naturally, you don't think about it, right? And it's okay when you do it for your sister or for your cousin, because y'all can talk about anything, but you have a difficult time doing it for your partner. Because every time your partner says something, you think it's about you. And it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about how they feel, right? And then we begin to wear stuff that don't really belong to us, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it makes sense, And Christine said a minute ago, she said, now that is so, so true. And Christine, it really is, because we really do not even realize the damage that we're doing. We don't. And that's why we ought to always be forgiving of one another, right? Because we make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. I mean, there's no easy way to get better. The mistakes and being in relationship and making those mistakes is what begins our healing process, whether we're consciously aware of that or not. Because you can't heal from this if you're talking to your sisters, right? Because your sisters, while they love you differently. You got to heal in the confines of the relationship that you're in with your partner, right? You got to begin to speak life to them, but also speak life to yourself by seeing your relationship different. That's the other point I wanted to make. You got to be able to see your relationship strong. You got to be, seeing yourself like, yo, what do I want my life to look like in 2 or 3 years with my man or my woman, right? What are the plans I want to make with them? Are we going on vacation? And then begin the process of manifestation, right? In that, right? Right there in that space. Like I want our relationship to be healthy, and I want us to be whole, and I want us to be like this power couple, or I want us to be happy and be able to do things together and laugh and watch stupid cartoons together. Yes, planting those seeds of life. You better say so, Tina. I love it, baby. I love it. Yes. That's exactly right. And so, like, you want to go on vacation and it's going to take a certain amount of money. So you got to save it. Y'all save it together. Y'all making plans. But what do you want your life to look like? You got to plan in the same way. And you make manifest by your thoughts and the way that you treat your partner. Because when you think positive, you begin to bring positive things to them, right? And you begin to love on them in a different way when you see them strong, when you see them as your king or you see her as your queen, right? Everything begins to change, but it starts here. It starts with your thoughts. And then from those thoughts, the words will flow. So when it's positive, you want to spit out this amazing and wonderful, positive stuff that you want to see have happen in your life. You want to be able to laugh sometime. You want to be able to act silly. Maybe sometimes just go, now it's cold in New York, but just put on a nice heavy coat and walk on the beach. Get up at sunrise, right? Make memories that are good, right? Be happy, be whole, speak life. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how amazing you think they are, right? And watch what happens. I'm telling you, like, baby, ain't nobody else I know could cook like you. That kind of stuff make you be like, you stick your chest out. I know I did that, boo. I did that. Did y'all see my little salad I made? It was a little, it was a scallop. I made some seared scallop, and I put the black beans in it with a little spinach. I did that. I was proud of myself. It tastes absolutely delicious. If I had a man say, baby, you did that, baby, I want some more of that. Now, this is really healthy diet food, so I doubt I would be feeding my man that. But you get what I'm saying, baby. I really enjoy what you cook me. What do you think is going to make me do? Run back in that kitchen, okay? Run back in that kitchen. Like, what can I make him for tomorrow? Because I want my man to be happy because I watch how he talked to me, right? He made me feel good that I did something or I make his favorite meal, right? And I did that. And I put my whole entire foot, toe, elbow, and everything else up in there because I'm making this for my baby. Now I'm excited to make it. Check this out. Check this out. Hey, what's up, baby? I see you, Kay. I see you, right? So listen, check this out. When I tell him how amazing he is and how I think he can, listen, my baby could do anything, right? What you think he gonna do? What do you think he gonna do? He gonna be like, I'm gonna try. And he might say to you, babe, I can't do anything. Baby, you can do anything, right? What do you think he's gonna do? He gonna do the most. Because, baby, I appreciate you. It's the language. It's the language around making your relationships work. It is the language. Right? It is the sincerity. It is being genuine. It is creating safe space for true intimacy, right? And y'all know intimacy is not necessarily sex, right? So hear me. There is power in your words because there is power in your thoughts. You got to change the way you see your man, change the way you see a woman, change the way that you are seeing a potential relationship that is coming your way. See yourself walking down on the beach in Jamaica with your new boo, right? Male or female, right? See yourself walking on the beach, jet skiing, right? Parasailing, right? Dancing the night away, right? See yourself doing that, right? And then work on being the person, you work on being the person in the manifestation that is being loving and kind. And I promise you, when you have the right person with you, they're going to see all of that good that you're doing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and how you support and encourage them. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you right back the same. It's not just about knocking boots and cooking dinner. It's about building a level of intimacy, a level of emotional stability that can't be matched. And people be wondering why their partners go out and do some of the stuff that they do. And I'm not saying that this is an excuse because it's not. But what I am saying is because we're not loving each other at home. right? And we've broken something, something's amiss, right? And we need to fix it. We need to fix it. You know, I don't know. Intimacy is spiritual. It really is spiritual because it's such a sacred space, right? It's a sacred space. Fact, Kim, encouragement is important in building the person and the relationship. Absolutely, Amanda. Because you can't get to it any other way, right? You're not gonna you're not gonna have ultimate success when you're doing that. And I'm not saying you don't argue. I'm not saying you don't have disagreements, right? Because everybody does, right? Everybody has disagreements. That's built in, that's baked into the cake, right? But it's how you handle those disagreements that's either gonna make you or break you. And that is the reason why we need to watch our words and understand their power. Understand your power as a man or a woman, knowing that you can build her up or you can tear her down, or you can build him up or you can tear him down, right? Understanding that. I love this, KG. I love this. Intimacy is spiritual. I love that. I absolutely love that. Intimacy is spiritual. It really is. It is absolutely like this amazing place to be, because when you're in that space and you know you have somebody that you can trust, somebody that really cares about you and loves you, oh my God, it's such a safe space. And who doesn't want to belong to a safe space, right? Who doesn't want to belong there? Like, who don't want somebody to come home to, that y'all ain't, built all of this muckety muck around, but somebody that you can trust. And even when you have difficulty, you be laughing at yourself. You be like, what, I was so wrong, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm a daggone mess. Pray for me, sweetheart. I ain't go, baby. We're going to pray tonight because you need Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that, right? You need that. You need a safe space, men and women. Brothers, you can't get a safe space until you consistently show up and stop hiding, right? Because we sisters need y'all. We need y'all for real, for real. And some of my sisters won't say, I need a man. But let me just tell you something. I need a man, right? I need a man. I'm not afraid to say it. And for my sisters who are afraid to say it, they need a man. Okay? Hello, somebody. So Reva says, sometimes it's just when you at a point of having a bad day, ask your partner, how was your day? That may just brighten your mood. Absolutely. So you can switch it. You can switch it. Flip the switch. Because even if you having a bad day, but you ask your partner what's up with them, you know what I'm saying? And they might tell you, oh, babe, guess what happened? Yo, and tell you a joke. And you may not even be in that mood, but it may switch everything. It switches and changes up the atmosphere, right? We want to be that safe space for one another. We want to be that safe space for one another. Thank you for saying that, Reva. Okay, so KG says, first we need to raise the children and grandchildren with this mindset. Yeah, but you know why we can't raise them with that mindset? Honestly, because we don't all have it. This is like, I know you got it because I see you, right? But everybody don't have it. We can't teach what we don't know. I was having a conversation. Can I ask you? Okay, I'm going to sidebar in a minute. I'm going to sidebar to something else. I really need y'all help with this, right? Or I'm going to tell y'all a story and I want y'all to tell me what you think of it, right? But I was talking to my son and my granddaughters. We all went out to brunch one day and we were just hanging out. And I was asking them about finances. And my son said to me, my baby boy, he said, Ma, you ain't teach me that. I said, because I ain't know that. Right? I didn't know that. I didn't know about putting your getting an insurance policy, a universal index insurance. Like, I didn't know that, right? These kids got Google, they got people, they doing all kind of finance. My granddaughter got her own business. She's amazing. Like, the other one is doing her stuff. My son, he got his own business. But my point is, my son's like, Ma, why ain't you tell? Because we were having a conversation, and it's a sidebar, but it's not. We didn't know. Our parents didn't tell us. And now that we know better and we're more conscious and aware, we are now doing better. We're trying to be better partners, right? We're learning and we're growing while we're in this thing, right? And we out here trying to make the best of our lives and do what we can and pay our bills, but we all want love and we all want to belong, and we don't always all have the tools, right? To not only meet somebody, but to keep somebody. Okay. All right. All right. That was a mic drop right there. Let me tell y'all this real quick. And I want y'all opinion, right? I have a girlfriend who has a friend, and she began to tell me this story. She told me this story that it's her Caucasian friend that she works with, right? Parents told us we didn't pay attention and listen. Well, my mother never told me about a universal index insurance policy. I'm certain she did not know. Right. She just didn't know. She knew how to put money in a savings account, and she knew how to save her money, and she worked hard. That's what she taught me. You know, you go get you a good job and you work hard and you save your money. That's what my mother taught. My mother didn't teach me all this other stuff. Right. Okay. So, and I'm not saying, because now my kids, they know more than me. They be telling me stuff. Right. But okay. So my girlfriend is telling me about her Caucasian friend. This is what she said. She said to me that she was having a conversation with her one day, and y'all talk to me about this. I need y'all help. But she said she said she was talking to the lady. She Caucasian. She said, "Oh, in our household, the daughters, the girls had to pay the rent in the house." And she was like, "Y'all had to pay rent? Well, what was y'all brothers doing?" She said, "Oh, my brothers, they didn't have to pay the rent. They didn't have to pay any rent at home. They were just to work and save their money." So my girl was like, "Well, why? Why is that?" However, they got on a conversation. So why is that? Why is that? She said, because he had to get married, right? And he had to save his money because he had to be able to take care of his wife. So when the men in the Caucasian community were at home, as long as they stayed home, right? What they did was the parents never told them. They said, "Well, that's not fair to the daughters." My girlfriend is saying this. "Well, why would they make you do that?" I said, "Because my goal was to meet a man. What my mother taught me was I was going to have to meet a man that was raised like my brothers, so that they would have the capacity to take care of us. So we didn't have to worry about money. So we could pay the rent and help with the bills and do everything. And our brothers never did." And I think that that's part of what sparked the conversation between my son and my granddaughters, right? Because they went to a school where it was mostly, Caucasians, right? And I said to them, I was like, "Really?" So I was like kind of floored by that. I said, so the men in the Caucasian, they never had no. And when they left home with like, 50, 75, $100,000 in their bank account and well invested, right? So I thought about that. And one of my granddaughters, because she was raised around, she had a little attitude like she was supposed to get the same treatment. I said, "Well, we don't do that in Black families. We need help across the board. Like everybody got bitches, right? Depending upon your circumstances, right? Everybody got to work. Everybody got to pay a little bit of rent, even if it's $25 a week, right? You got to help, right? We wasn't raised like that. So that's interesting, because I know that in the African American community, right, we like, "Yo, you got to get out here, you got to get a job, you got to help pay bills, you got to do this." And then when we coddled our sons a little bit too much, it was like, "No, y'all doing the most. Like y'all not supposed to do that," right? But in other communities, I guess there's a difference. But I'm asking the question, like, how do y'all feel about that? When I heard that, that kind of baked my noodle, because there was already an advantage, right? And now it's even more of an advantage, right? Because most of the median household income in the United States for everybody is like $40,000. But if you set your kid up from the time they little, and the idea is you just got to save your money so you can get married and buy your wife a house and get, that's a whole different dynamic than the way that we were raised, right? So that's a question. How do y'all feel about that? I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting. Because this thing really blew my mind. How do y'all feel about that? I was like blown away by that. And I thought, like, that doesn't happen in our communities. Who does that? Does anybody have an opinion about that? Y'all could be typing and I don't know yet. I don't know. But to me, just that alone, it baked my noodle. Like, what? Like, I don't think that we culturally have done anything wrong, right? But I wanted to know how people felt about the fact that you can literally say to your son, no, you ain't got to do nothing. Just bank all your money. And when you get ready to leave out, so you're going to marry you a woman and be able to buy her house and everything else, right? So I was like, wow. So I looked at even the cultural differences, right? We didn't have it like that, KG. You said that even before I said a word. Our parents didn't have this information. We didn't operate like this, right? But that thing baked my noodle. Everyone does that, but foundationally Black American. Okay, got you. Okay, but foundational Black American. Okay, okay. Because I'm like, I am kind of blown away by that. When she told me that, I was like, wow, right? And this is not a Black or white thing, it's just a cultural thing. That's all it is, right? And I know that that would have been my preference when my son was home, my baby boy was home. I was like, save up all your money. So when you leave here, you could buy you a condo, a house, buy you a banging car, do what you want to do. I did say that to him, right? I did say that to him. But I wanted him to be set so that he don't have to be scrambling, period, right? But I didn't know that was an actual thing. I thought like I was trying to do something special, right? Because I want my sons and my daughters to be successful, period, right? So there are there is power in our words and in our behavior. And I know that we're all learning right now and trying to be our best. You know, nobody said anything about what I said. I think that's interesting, right? Nobody chimed in on that one, but that thing baked my noodle. But anyway, I am done here. I just wanted to say to watch your words, change your behavior, watch your behavior. And this is for my brothers and my sisters. Sometimes we don't even know that we're causing harm. And we need to get real clear about how we talk to our men, how we talk to our women, not just to be in a relationship for a little while, but to build a forever, right? It's going to require you to do some work internally and to show it externally and be a bright light in the relationship, no matter, male or female. Listen, I love y'all like fried chicken. I promise you. I promise you I do. Y'all have an awesome and amazing night. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. All right. Bye.